Hey everybody, it's the Burger Dude, and today I want to show you how I make sloppy joes, but vegan of course. And like a lot of folks, this was a childhood staple in my house, and today I want to revisit the Manwich, seeing as it's been around 30 years since I've had one. And then we're going to make some much better sloppy joes from scratch, as well as a mashup with one of my favorite fast food burgers, the Wester Bacon Cheeseburger. And with that, let's make some vegan sloppy joes. So like I said, let's start with the Manwich. And this is pretty easy. All you got to do is brown your plant-based meat and then add your sauce. There it is, the K&O Manwich. And that's basically it. So obviously you don't need a tutorial for that. However, I wanted to see where the bar was. And also, as I mentioned, it's probably been about 30 years since I've had a Manwich. So I just wanted to see if it would hold up. And to be honest, for the amount of work this takes, it's not that bad. It comes together in about 10 minutes. So if you're short on time or feeling lazy, this is a great thing to have handy. There's also a plethora of ways to jazz up your Manwich. You could add onions, peppers, hot sauce, really whatever you want. However, I thought if we're gonna go through all that trouble, why not do it from scratch so we can control the flavors a bit more? Because even though this tasted good at first, once I made my homemade version, it really didn't hold a candle when I tasted them side by side. You know, the Manwich is way sweeter and doesn't really have as much depth of flavor as the homemade. But like I said, for something in less than 10 minutes, the Manwich ain't bad. And even though this is a sloppy joe, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up so it doesn't get all over the place. I try not to get too sloppy here at the Burger Dude. And there we go, coming right for you, but nope, for me as per usual. So like I said, it's not bad, but we can do a lot better. So let's make a sloppy joe from scratch. So first we're gonna grill about half of an onion for a few minutes. I used a yellow onion, but use whatever onion you like. And then we're gonna add about 1/3 of a red bell pepper and one whole jalapeno, both of those diced. You can swap the jalapeno for 1/3 of a green bell pepper, but honestly, since I removed the seeds, it wasn't too spicy at all. And we're just gonna cook those down until they're nice and soft, about 10 minutes or so, and then drop in a pound of our plant-based meat. And we're gonna crumble that meat and then stir it around and just cook it until it's well browned, about 8 minutes or so. And it's really a good idea to just let it sit there for a few minutes and then stir, and this will help some of the crumbles get a nice little crust on them as well. After we feel good about our meat, we're gonna toss in 3 or so cloves of minced garlic and give that a mince. Cook it for a minute, but not too long so we don't burn the garlic. And next we wanna add about a tablespoon of tomato paste. Stir that around as well and cook it for about a minute or so. And then we're gonna add in an 8-ounce can of tomato sauce, followed by about 1/4 cup of your favorite ketchup. Stir that all together, and if you're like me and your sauce is too thick, add about 1/4 cup of water or until it gets to your desired consistency. You know, go ahead and just make it as sloppy as you like it. And now next we're gonna add in one of my favorite ingredients, 1 tablespoon of diced chipotles and adobo. We're also gonna throw a tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce. Make sure it's vegan, sometimes they got little fishes in there. And mix those ingredients together, and then after that we're gonna add in a tablespoon of yellow mustard, or you use whatever mustard you like. Go fancy, use some Dijon if you wanna. Seriously, do whatever you like right here. And now it's time for our dry spices. So let's add in a tablespoon of smoked paprika, followed by a tablespoon of chili powder. We're gonna give that a mix and then taste it and season it however you'd like. I'm just adding some black pepper and some salt, but really add whatever you like. This sloppy joe is not as sweet as some others. A lot of recipes add brown sugar, but I didn't for this. I felt like the ketchup was enough. But if you want it sweeter, then by all means, add a tablespoon or 2 of brown sugar. In fact, I wish I would have added some cayenne or hot sauce, but honestly, this sloppy joe was still super dang good. A lot better than that Manwich. Remember that guy? Yeah, me neither. In any case, pile your sloppy joe up high. I really like using a spatula for this. Just let that meat slide on down there and land on that toasted bun. And then add your top bun, give it a nice little pat for being a good little dude. And then because we don't want any of our sloppy joe to escape its inevitable fate of ending up in our mouths, we're gonna wrap it up. And there you go, by far the best homemade sloppy joe I've ever had. Sorry to dunk on you, mom and dad. I still love you, but this was better. Now, speaking of love, time to mash up the sloppy joe with one of my all-time faves, the Wester Bacon Cheeseburger. And for the bacon, I'm using my favorite by All Vegetarian. This isn't sponsored, but I do love this bacon. I'll leave a link in the description. If you're in the US, you can order from them yourself. But all you need to do is chop it up and then add it to a pan and cook it like so for about 10 minutes or until it gets a little crispy like this. And once we feel good about it, we're gonna set it aside for later. And now, after that, this is mostly the same as the classic sloppy joe with a few modifications, but let's do our onions, then add our plant-based meat, and then next up is the garlic, and then a healthy squirt of that tomato paste. our 8-ounce can of tomato sauce. And now here's where it gets a little different. Instead of the ketchup, we're gonna add some barbecue sauce. Use whatever barbecue sauce you like and add as much as you like. I started off with about a 1/4 cup, but added some more later on. And then time for our Worcestershire sauce. Ooh, I think I biffed that one. Chili powder, smoked paprika. And then we're gonna do our black pepper, our salt, and then we wanna give it a taste. And I decided I wanted a little bit more barbecue sauce. And then we're gonna add in our bacon. And we're gonna mix that all up. And then we just need to give it a final taste. And when you're happy with it, all we gotta do is make a quick cheese sauce. So I'm doing my new favorite method for a cheese sauce. In case you haven't seen me do this, I'm just adding some sodium citrate to some water. This will help emulsify the cheese and keep it beautiful and velvety. I'll leave a link in the description for the sodium citrate if you're interested, but it's the best way for a vegan cheese sauce in my humble opinion. And once our cheese sauce is done, it's time to assemble our Western Bacon Sloppy Joe. So start with the onion rings. These are some frozen ones by Red Robin that I just air fried real quick. Just slop on that Sloppy Joe on top and then drizzle your cheese sauce. And I gotta say, this was head and shoulders the best Sloppy Joe I've ever had. I know I just said that about the last one, but that was because I ate it before this one. But it's not really a surprise since the Western Bacon Cheeseburger is one of the best burgers ever invented, so it goes without saying, you know? But I mean, look at this thing. You got the onion rings, the bacon, the barbecue sauce, and the cheese all on a Sloppy Joe. I'm sorry, but you just can't top that. However, I'd love to see y'all make this, or if you have any of your own ideas on different spins you could put on a Sloppy Joe. You know, I was thinking jalapeno popper style, maybe Big Mac, or, you know, animal style, like In-N-Out, but literally so many different ways you can customize this, so let your imagination run wild. And if you do make it, let me know how it went. I hope you're all doing great, and I'll see you next time.